Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind Community Advocate Group page. I'm Reverend John Kinney, and I am the pastor of Third Baptist Church, as well as a member of the community group. For those who may be viewing this for the very first time, we are a community group that fought long and hard last year trying to um, suppress the rezoning of the Old Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind. Unfortunately, the city has, as of November last year, the city council agreed to change that rezoning from residential to light industrial manufacturing. So we did not win that round of the battle war, but we continue in the other battles that are before us. We are going to hold them accountable at every step, every turn. Right now, we're trying to get information as far as the language of the MOUs, the agreements that were made between the city, economic development, and North Point. We're trying to gather that information. Even right now, we're also working on some other things to hold them to the fire, to hold them accountable to what they agreed upon doing, but also to ensure that our community does not continue to suffer adversely for what has transpired. So I wanted to let you know that on the front end, because you're going to be hearing and seeing more about what our efforts are going to be to address those concerns. But primarily today, I wanted to give you an update as to where we were and to where things stood since the last time we were able to get together and talk. It was around November the 7th or 9th was the last time many of us got together and talked, because that was the night of the vote. And subsequent that night of the vote, number one, I submitted an application for the Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind Community Advocate Group to become a registered neighborhood association. That meeting was in December, and I received confirmation or information, a response back at the end of December, stating that the application was still pending approval because there were other groups in that area, and there was some concern over overlapping boundaries, that the groups were going to overlap. I was told that a meeting would be set up with some of the city officials to discuss or to modify some of the overlapping issues with one of the other groups, the Old With Association. I emailed the group, that city, today, as a matter of fact, to follow up, because I got a response back several weeks ago and I hadn't heard anything back. And I emailed them today to follow up to see exactly when that meeting was going to take place, so that we can begin to further push the issue and further hold them accountable to what they propose that citizens can participate in. And so once I hear back from them, I will let you know exactly what the outcome of that response was. Thirdly, um, as a way to address one of the major issues that's centered around the entire North Point proposal, and that was community input, community involvement, community conversation with city officials. I emailed City Council today and I asked them to um, make it their priority to schedule meetings within our area, our neighborhood, that corresponds to, number one, for instance, the mayor's town hall meetings that's held out further away from our community and people in our neighborhood are not able to attend. I even invited and opened our church doors so that they could have a place to meet um, every quarter, to provide the residents the opportunity to hear what was being proposed, to what was being planned, but also for them to be able to hear from the residents on an ongoing basis. Now, this is something that I brought to them as a way to rectify their inability or willingness to communicate with us. Not just meeting with those groups that agree with what they want to do or going to cater to what they want to do, but to be able to hear from all of the residents. So I emailed them today, and their turnaround time, you know how it is. They usually get back within 5 days, they say. So as soon as I hear back from them as whether or not they agree to the invitation to come into the community, to meet with us, the community, on an ongoing basis, I'll let you know once I hear back from them as well. One of the major issues going forward that we need to be very cognizant of and mindful of is the leadership that represents our community in the future. We just had city council elections, and some more will come up in 2 years. And what we want to begin doing is we want to begin to identify those persons who may be leaders in the future, but also we want to be able to provide and identify or help those who may not have won this previous season, to help them strategize and figure out how they can better position themselves for leadership. It is no hidden factor that city council lacks youth and a connection to the next generation. It is obvious that they are in a time warp when it comes to identifying and placing leaders who better represent the mass of Hampton. And so we want to be on the forefront of that, engaging and having those conversations. So I'm going to be providing some more information as time comes along and passes. I'm meeting with some people, talking to some people about ways we can come up with identifying leaders and positioning them to be better effective in their pursuit of leadership roles. So I want you to keep that in mind as well. And if you know of anybody that's aspiring to be a leader, see, one of the concerns is that people get into political races and they lose, and we view that as something negative. That's not always a negative sight, because what it does is it gives them the opportunity to see where they may have gone wrong, and then to help them for the next time the race comes along. So keep these things in mind as we begin to pursue and go further in our endeavors to better impact our own community. Then I want you all to be aware of a social justice, the Hampton Roads Social Justice Conference that's coming up April the 10th through the 12th at Christopher Newport University. This conference has been created by Dr. Johnny Finn and Reverend Charles Cheek several years ago. And it's a wonderful opportunity for the community to come around and to hear issues from leaders, from nonprofit leaders, from corporate leaders, from educators around those issues that touch on environmental justice, social justice, racial injustice that affect us as African Americans, but overall affects the community at large. So I want you to mark your calendars. In the description field of this video, there is the link to that particular conference. You can click on the link. You can register for the link right there. And that's going to be April the 10th through April the 12th at Christopher Newport University. So hopefully, prayerfully, you all will be able to attend. I've been invited to be a part of a panel that will be discussing some things. And I haven't heard back yet whether or not that group has been confirmed. But once I hear back about the confirmation of that group, I'll let you all know that I will be sharing as well as a part of this presentation on that particular day, on those days rather, during that conference in April. So hopefully, prayerfully, many of you all can attend and share with us, spread the word to people that you don't know or that you do know, who are really concerned about the social issues that are affecting our own neighborhood, that they might be able to take part. And then lastly, the group, the Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind Community Advocate Group, we meet every third Wednesdays of the month. We did not meet in December because it was the holidays, and we'll be meeting next week. What I want you to know is that our meeting times have changed from 6:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. The reason it's changed is because our church's Bible study has now moved to Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. And I want to be able to provide the opportunities for us to still meet prior to Bible study, as opposed to changing the days altogether. So mark your calendars. Third Wednesdays, 5 o'clock p.m. at Third Baptist Church, 1214 Victoria Boulevard in Hampton. It's when we will be meeting to share and to discuss and to strategize even further as we continue in this effort, this pursuit of bringing justice to our community and fighting to preserve our legacy. Even though things did not go the way we had hoped they would go in November, the fight still continues. So don't become weary in your well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. On behalf of the Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind Community Advocate Group, I'm Reverend John Kinney. Thank you for your time. And please keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, because we will be still making more noise. Until then, you be encouraged. God bless you. Peace.